I gave up and agreed to break up, leaving the aloof female CEO utterly shattered. Let's break up. I'm tired of this. She tossed me a card. I nodded. She hadn't expected me to agree so readily. Later, she pounded on my door in the dead of night, pleading, "Don't break up." Okay. I looked at her red-rimmed eyes. Didn't you say you were tired of it? When Eleanor told me we were breaking up, I was fixing her executive chair, that rickety thing costing tens of thousands, which had been squeaking lately, ruining her work mood. She stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, backlit, wearing a suit dress so expensive it could cover 6 months of my salary. Ethan, her voice as flat as ever. Let's end it here. I'm tired of this. Still holding a screwdriver. I paused, then nodded. Just one word. No extra syllables. She clearly faltered, turning to stare at me as if she didn't recognize who I was. Did you hear me? I said, we're breaking up. I put the screwdriver back in the toolbox and closed the lid. Heard you. Tired of it. Got it. Her lips twitched, as if she wanted to say something. He said it again, then pointed toward the door. Take that card as compensation. I glanced at the card on the coffee table, dark and unassuming, probably loaded with enough cash to let a slacker like me coast for years, but I didn't take it. No need. I said, I'm moving back to my own place tonight. I don't have much, just one suitcase. After nearly a year in this penthouse, I'd left barely a trace. A half-used tube of toothpaste in the bathroom, a pot in the kitchen I used exclusively for instant noodles, and a game console in the corner of the living room. Everything else, down to the last detail, belonged to Eleanor. She watched me pack from the sofa, her fingers tapping restlessly on her knees, clearly unhappy. I zipped up the suitcase, walked to the door, paused, and turned back to say one last thing. The chair's fixed. Try not to rock it too hard from now on, or it'll creak again. She shot to her feet. Ethan, don't you have anything else to say to me? I looked at her. Hope you find someone better. Her face darkened further. I pulled the door open. I left without looking back. As the elevator descended, I touched my chest, felt nothing. I'd probably seen it coming all along. Eleanor and I were never from the same world. She was the CEO of a major corporation, while I was just a low-level employee in her company. We ended up together by some twist of fate. To put it bluntly, it was a whim on her part, and I just went along with it. Now that whim has passed, she got bored, which is perfectly normal. Back in my tiny studio apartment, the first thing I did was fire up my computer and re-download the games gathering dust in my Steam library. Then I ordered some barbecue, extra spicy. My phone stayed quiet. No messages, no calls from her. The next day, I slept in until the sun was high in the sky, without even bothering to write a formal leave request. I just sent a WeChat message to my department head. Sick, taking a day off. The reply came almost instantly. No problem, Xiao Shen. Rest well, health comes first. Work can wait. The attitude was suspiciously accommodating, probably because he knew something. Curled up in bed scrolling through my phone, I refreshed my social feed and saw a post from Eleanor's assistant, accompanying the boss on a site visit for the new project. Boss's aura today is 3 meters 80. Keep your distance. The photo showed Eleanor's back, wearing the same suit dress from yesterday. Her high heels clicked sharply against the floor. I swiped past it and went back to watching gaming videos. That evening, I was deep into a dungeon raid with my teammates. The doorbell rang. Thinking it was the barbecue delivery, I went to answer it with a cigarette dangling from my lips. Standing outside was Eleanor. She had changed clothes, but not into loungewear, more like she'd just come from some evening event. Her dress was dazzling, though her complexion didn't look great. A bit pale, clearly something was up. I leaned against the doorframe, not planning to let her in. She eyed the cigarette in my mouth. Frowning, she asked, "When did you learn to smoke?" "Always knew how, just didn't smoke around you before." She fell silent for a moment. "Aren't you going to invite me in?" "Not really convenient," I said. "The place is a mess. Wouldn't want to dirty your eyes." Her breathing grew heavier. "Ethan, do you have to talk to me like this? How should I talk?" Then, I flicked the ash from my cigarette. "Please enlighten me, Boss Eleanor." She stared at me, her eyes bloodshot. "Why did you take that card when you left yesterday?" "Forgot. Want it back now?" She seemed choked up, forcing out through gritted teeth. "I brought it." "Then forget it," I said. "I'm not short on that." She didn't leave, didn't speak either, just stood at the doorway, staring at me wide-eyed. The motion sensor light in the hallway went out. She seemed to shrink her shoulders slightly. I sighed, stubbed out my cigarette in the ashtray by the door, and shifted sideways. "Come in." Standing in the doorway looks ridiculous. She stepped inside immediately, her footsteps a bit hurried. My little place, less than 60 square meters, couldn't compare to her penthouse. She stood in the middle of the living room, looking a bit lost. My folded blanket was tossed on the sofa, the coffee table littered with leftover instant noodle cups and cola cans. The game screen was still flashing on the TV. "Sit," I said. "Just pull up any chair. Duan Bingdu." She didn't sit, just looked at me. "Yesterday, you're already gaming today. What else? Cry my eyes out, or drown my sorrows?" So many emotions. She pressed her lips together, You don't seem upset at all. It's fine. I said. I'd imagined this day, so I'm handling it pretty well. Imagined it, she repeated. Since when did you start imagining it? Since the first day with you. I told her honestly. Her face turned even paler, whiter than her foundation. The air seemed to freeze. She stood there for a moment before finally pulling over a dining chair. She sat down, her back ramrod straight as if in a meeting. I'm hungry, she said. I was taken aback. There's a convenience store downstairs. The hot pot cups probably aren't sold out yet. I want the noodles you cook, she said, looking at me. The kind you used to make, with an egg. I scratched my head. Jiangdong, we've already broken up. Remember, you were the one who brought it up. So you can't even cook a bowl of noodles after a breakup? She retorted. How stingy. I was both annoyed and amused. Fine. Wait here. I went into the kitchen, dug out some dried noodles and eggs. There were also a few leafy greens. I started clattering around. She didn't follow me in, but I knew she was watching from outside. The noodles were ready quickly. Plain broth with noodles, a poached egg, and 9 pieces of greens. I brought it out and set it before her. Eat up. Leave once you're done. She picked up her chopsticks and ate slowly, bite by bite, as if counting grains of rice. When she finished, she put down her chopsticks. The egg was a bit salty. I'll be more careful next time, I said, though there wouldn't be a next time. She frowned again. You really want me gone that badly? What else? I started clearing the dishes. Should I let you stay overnight? I only have one bed. It's not fit for someone of your stature. She stood up, grabbed her bag from the sofa, and said, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. No need to see me out. She walked to the door, her hand on the doorknob. She turned back. The chair, it's creaking again. Get it serviced. I replied. The warranty card is in the coffee table drawer. Calling me won't help. I've resigned. She jerked her head up. When did that happen? This afternoon. Electronic resignation letter. OA already approved it. You're not my boss anymore. She seemed at a complete loss for words. Pulling the door open, she left, her footsteps heavy this time. Thump, thump, thump. I closed the door, returned to my computer. My game character was already dead. Teammates cursing me over voice chat. I put on my headphones. Something came up. Let's continue. The next day, as I was debating whether to find a new job or just laze around for a couple of months, the doorbell rang again. This time it wasn't Eleanor, but her capable assistant, surnamed Wang. Assistant Miller smiled ingratiatingly, holding several luxury shopping bags. Mr. Reed, Eleanor asked me to bring you a few things. I blocked the doorway. What things? Some seasonal clothes. And the snacks you like. CEO Jiang said, take them back. I cut him off. I don't need them. Mr. Reed, please don't make this difficult for me. Assistant Miller smiled awkwardly. It's CEO Jiang's orders. She can order what she wants. I said, I'm refusing what's mine. It has nothing to do with you. Go back. I closed the door. After a while, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I answered. Hello? There was silence on the other end for a few seconds. Then Eleanor's voice came through. Why won't you take them? I don't need them. I said. Those brands look like knockoffs on me. Then what do you want to eat? I'll have my assistant buy it. Eleanor. I called her by her full name. What exactly do you want? The other end fell silent again. Only the sound of breathing could be heard. After a long time, her voice came through softly. My stomach hurts. I ate well yesterday. And I ate today too. So what? I asked. Why come to me? Go find your personal physician. The medicine he prescribed doesn't work. Then I'm even less useful. I said. I'm just a computer repair guy who happens to know how to cook noodles. I can't cure your stomach problems. Ethan. Her voice trembled a little. Do you have to be like this? He's the one who wanted to break up. I reminded her. You said you were tired of it. And I agreed. What's this act about now? She didn't answer. Just hung up directly. I watched the phone screen go dark. Then pulled out the last cigarette from the pack. Lit it. Damn. Feeling a bit annoyed. After 2 quiet days, I'd sent out a few resumes, scheduled 2 interviews. Both felt mediocre. During this time, my college classmate Joey called me. Old Shen, come out for drinks. Your buddy got promoted. That evening, at the street grill, Joey slung an arm over my shoulder. Not bad. You really quit? That was a major company. I clinked glasses with him. Wasn't worth it. Then you and that. He winked suggestively. Jiang Nian, also over? Yeah, she ended it. Holy shit. Joey slapped his thigh. Then you got the short end. Didn't gain anything. Gained some peace and quiet. I said. Cut the crap. Joey didn't buy it. A woman of that caliber. You can just let go that easily. I took a swig of beer. Didn't reply. Whether you let go or not, does it even matter? If she doesn't want you anymore, and you still cling on, how pathetic is that? Mid-drink, Joey suddenly nudged me. Hey, look over there. I followed his pointing finger and saw Eleanor standing beside a black car under the greasy lights of the street grill. She was looking right at me. She wasn't wearing formal attire today. She had on a dress with a trench coat over it, completely out of place in the surroundings. Damn, Joey was staring. How did she find this place? I put down my glass. You keep drinking. I'm going over to check. I walked up to her and could smell the faint scent of her perfume mixed with the greasy smoke from the barbecue stall. A bit strange. Following me? I asked. She didn't answer, just looked into my eyes. I called you. You didn't pick up. Silent mode. I said, got something going on. I haven't had dinner yet. So, I want to eat this too. She pointed at the skewers on a nearby table. I looked at her. Eleanor, this place isn't for you. You can eat it. Why can't I? I'm tough-skinned. You're delicate. If you get a stomachache, I can't take responsibility. She took a step forward, almost pressing against me. I don't need you to take responsibility. Under the light, her eyes were startlingly bright. Just tell me, are you treating me to these skewers or not? In the end, I did. I pulled out a plastic stool for her, wiping it over and over with a tissue. She sat down carefully, the hem of her trench coat dragging on the ground. Joey had already tactfully slipped away. I handed her the menu. Order for yourself, but don't get too much. It'd be a waste if we can't finish it. She stared at the greasy plastic covering, a bit at a loss. She admitted, I've never been to a place like this. I said, no worries, I'll handle it then. I took back the menu and ordered some standard items from the boss, asking for less spice. While waiting for the skewers, neither of us spoke. She kept watching the college students at the next table playing a drinking game, her gaze curious. You used to, she suddenly said, come to places like this often? Yeah, I replied. When I was broke, this was perfect, cheap and filling. She fell silent for a moment. Is it pretty boring being with me? I glanced at her. Why ask that all of a sudden? Just wondering. The skewers arrived. I passed her a skewer of grilled mantou slices. It's alright, everyone has their own way of living. She took the toasted bread slice and took a small bite, then frowned. So hard, that's just how toasted things are. I picked up a skewer of meat. Try this. She took the skewer, hesitated for a moment, and bit off a piece. Then, she gasped from the spiciness, tears nearly welling up. Water. She pointed at her throat. I quickly handed her the cold beer. She took a big gulp before recovering, her lips red and eyes glistening. Why is it so spicy? She murmured in complaint. I forgot to ask for less spice. You can't handle spicy food. She looked at me, suddenly falling silent. After a moment she whispered, see, you even remember I can't eat spicy food, yet you won't get back together with me. My hand holding the skewer froze. It's not the same. I said, how is it different? Remembering you can't eat spicy food is a habit. Getting back together is another matter. She set down the beer bottle. Ethan, I regret it. The wind blew, tousling a few strands of her hair. That day when I said we should break up, it was just in anger. Her voice very soft. I never thought you'd agree. I put down the skewer, wiped my hands. Eleanor, you're not the type to say things in anger. I am. She suddenly became agitated. I am. That day, I was in a bad mood that day. The project hit a snag, and you were busy fixing that broken chair the whole time, not even glancing my way. I was caught off guard, and that's when you said we should break up. I laughed, looking up. This is the problem between us. What problem? When you're in a bad mood, you can vent by threatening to break up, because you know that even if I disagree, there's nothing I can do about it. But what if I'm in a bad mood? Can I throw things? Can I lose my temper with you? No, because you're Eleanor. I'm Ethan. We were never equals to begin with. She opened her mouth, wanting to say something, but no words came out. The light in her eyes dimmed bit by bit, so her voice came out parched. You never truly liked me, did you? It's just because I am Eleanor. Not. I shook my head. I did like you once. I mean it, but so what? Do you like me? Or are you just used to me taking care of you? She was at a loss for words. See, you don't even know yourself. I stood up and went to settle the bill. When I returned, she was still sitting there, staring at the unfinished skewers, motionless. Let's go. I said, I'll walk you to the car. She slowly stood up and followed me to the vehicle. The driver got out to open the door for her. Just before getting in, she suddenly turned back to look at me. What if I change? I looked at her. The night breeze lifted her long hair, and the streetlights cast fragmented glimmers in her eyes. Don't change, I said. If you change, you won't be you anymore. Her eyes instantly reddened. Ethan, you're such a jerk. I nodded. Likewise. She got in the car and left. I stood by the roadside, lit a cigarette. Joey popped up out of nowhere again. Finished talking. Finished. I saw her eyes were red. Did you bully her? Do I look like that kind of person? Yes. Joey nodded emphatically. Especially like one. I kicked him. Seriously. Joey leaned in. What are you really thinking? A wealthy woman of that caliber, lowering herself to come find you. Aren't you tempted? I was. I said, but now I don't dare. Why? Afraid it'll shorten my lifespan. Joey burst out laughing. Keep talking tough. I'm not being stubborn. I'm telling the truth. Being with Eleanor is exhausting. I always have to put on an act, figure out what she's thinking, cater to her preferences. I'm just a lazy fish at heart, wanting to coast through life. Forcing myself to perk up and play the elite is too much. This way is better now, back to my true self. After a few more peaceful days, I found a new job at a small company. The pay isn't great, but it's relaxed. 9 to 6. After work, I just game. On weekends, I sleep in. Occasionally, I think of Eleanor, but it's just a passing thought. Until that night, after my shower, I heard the doorbell ringing like crazy. Frowning, I went to answer it. Outside was Eleanor. She seemed drunk, barely able to stand, leaning against the doorframe, her eyes red as a rabbit's. Ethan, she sobbed. My stomach hurts. I caught a whiff of alcohol on her. You've been drinking. Business dinner. She grabbed my arm. Drank a lot. I sighed and helped her inside. She leaned against me, soft and limp, her hair brushing my neck, a bit ticklish. I helped her sit down on the sofa. I went to pour her a cup of warm water. She took the cup, her hands trembling so badly that water spilled out. Be careful, I said. I took the cup and fed her. She drank twice, then pushed it away, feeling unwell. Serves you right, I said. You can't handle it, yet you drank so much. She looked at me with a pitiful expression. Someone was forcing drinks on me. Go find your new assistant. I don't have a new assistant. She shook her head. I fired them all. I was speechless. How many people did you fire? She gestured. None of them compare to you. I looked at her drunken state, knowing it was pointless to say anything to her. I said, lie down for a bit. I'll go make you some honey water. Just as I was about to get up, she suddenly grabbed my hand. Don't go. Her hand was cold and trembling slightly. Ethan, she looked up at me, her eyes moist. I was wrong. Wrong about what? I asked instinctively. I shouldn't have said we should break up. She buried her face in my palm. I shouldn't have lost my temper. I shouldn't have been so prideful. Her voice was soft, with a tearful voice. I won't do that again. Please come back. Okay. I didn't speak, and she waited for a moment, not getting my response. She looked up. You still won't forgive me. Tears fell from her eyes. I'm begging you like this. Eleanor. I pulled my hand back. You've had too much to drink. I haven't. She grew agitated. I'm very sober. I know what I'm saying. Sober people don't say things like that. Then tell me what I should say. She stood up, staggering. She said, I really miss you. I can't sleep without you. It hurts me every time I see an empty chair. She grabbed my collar. Ethan, teach me. What should I say or do to make you come back? I looked into her reddened eyes, seeing her so distraught for the first time. That always aloof Eleanor now seemed like a lost child. Sit down first. I said, don't fall. I won't sit. She stubbornly held on to me. You have to give me an answer today. What answer? Do you still want me or not? She stared into my eyes, enunciating each word deliberately. Her words fell like a hammer, and the room grew so quiet I could hear the hum of the refrigerator. I looked at her bloodshot eyes. Her hand gripping my collar was so tight her knuckles turned white. You're drunk, I repeated, trying to pry her fingers loose. I'm not drunk, she insisted, pulling even harder, almost hanging on to me. You always do this. Change the subject, never answering directly. I sighed. Fine, then tell me. I want you. And then what? And then, she paused, caught off guard. Then we go back to how it was before, just like before. I laughed. Are you sure that's what you want? Me, you, busy as ever, never around. Whenever I talk to you, you're always replying to emails, eating together while you take 8 calls. Even making love feels rushed, like we're on a timer. Morning photos, evening photos, that kind of life. Have you had enough of it? Her mouth hung open, as if she'd been paused. After several seconds, the light in her eyes slowly shattered. So, her voice trembled. You really don't want me anymore? I didn't answer. She let go of my collar. She took a step back, staggering. I instinctively reached out to steady her, but she shook off my hand. Don't touch me. Leaning against the wall to steady herself, she hung her head, long hair falling to hide her face. I couldn't see her expression, only the slight trembling of her shoulders. I understand, she said in a low voice. Sorry to disturb you. She turned and walked toward the door. Her steps were unsteady. I watched as she reached for the doorknob, missed it once, then tried again. Still couldn't grasp it. Then she slid down the door and sat on the floor, burying her face in her knees. Silent. I stood watching. She curled into a ball against the door, looking so small, nothing like the commanding CEO Jiang I knew, who always carried an imposing presence. After about a minute, I finally walked over and crouched down in front of her. She didn't react. I gently touched her shoulder, and she flinched sharply, lifting her head. Her face was streaked with tears. I was stunned. I'd never seen her cry. Not once. What are you staring at? She said, her voice thick with tears. Never seen someone cry before. Never seen you cry. She wiped her tears hard with the back of her hand, only making them flow more. My stomach hurts, she said through sobs. It hurts so much. Serves you right, I said. Who told you to drink so much? She cried even harder. In the end, my heart softened. I pulled her up from the floor, helped her to the sofa, and went to the kitchen to make a cup of warm honey water. When I returned, she was sitting on the sofa hugging her knees, eyes red and swollen like a little abandoned animal. I handed her the cup. She took it, sipping slowly. When she finished, she gave the empty cup back to me. Still hurt? I asked. It hurts. I sighed, went to the medicine cabinet for stomach pills, and popped 2 out according to the instructions. Poured another glass of water. Take the medicine. She looked at the pills in my hand and frowned. I almost laughed in frustration. Eleanor, how old are you? She pouted, reluctantly took the pills, and put them in her mouth, took a big gulp of water, swallowed them, then stuck out her tongue. So gross. I ignored her. After placing the water glass back on the coffee table, she sat quietly on the sofa for a moment, then subtly shifted closer to me, and closer still, until her arm brushed against mine. I turned to look at her, and she immediately lowered her head, pretending to study her fingers. She whispered, the question you asked me earlier. I've thought about it. What question? The one about whether we should keep going like that. And then, I think, she took a deep breath. We could do things differently. How differently? I could take fewer calls, she said, looking at her knees. I could mute my phone during meals, try not to work overtime on weekends. Her voice grew softer as she spoke, as if she didn't quite believe it herself. What else? I asked. And she thought for a moment. I could learn to eat spicy food, go to street grills with you, even sit in the sun without an umbrella. She lifted her head to look at me, her eyes still red but bright. I'll change. Really? I looked into her eyes, so earnest, so hopeful, like a child waiting for a gold star from the teacher. I turned my gaze away. No need. The light in her eyes instantly dimmed. Why? Her voice trembled. Because you can't change, I said, and there's no need to change either. How do you know I can't change? I've known you for a year, Ethan. I know exactly what kind of person you are. You're a workaholic, controlling, and obsessed with saving face. These are all part of you. Forcing yourself to change for me would make you uncomfortable, and I'd feel awkward watching it. She stared at me blankly. So, she murmured, you think my nature is hard to alter? Pretty much. Then what did you ever like about me? I thought seriously for a moment. You're good-looking, rich, and have long legs. Her expression went blank for a second. That's it? What else? What did you expect me to say? Soul resonance? She fell silent again, head bowed, fingers twisted together. After a long while, she suddenly looked up. Ethan, kiss me. I was taken aback. What? Kiss me? She repeated. Then I'll forgive you. Forgive you for what? For saying I'm controlling and obsessed with saving face. I looked at her. You're being a scoundrel. Just a scoundrel. She said it with righteous indignation. Are you going to kiss me or not? If not, why? Because we broke up. Because it's not right? Then why did you care about me when I was crying just now? Humanitarian concern. Then you can show some concern now too. She closed her eyes. Kiss here. She pointed to her own lips. I looked at her slightly trembling eyelashes and her lips pressed tight from nervousness. Eleanor, you really are, hopeless. She still had her eyes closed. I'll give you 3 seconds. If you don't kiss me, I'm leaving. I hesitated. I still didn't move. She opened her eyes, her gaze a bit disappointed, but more than that, it was stubbornness. 3. She stood up. I'm leaving. This time, her steps were steady. When she reached the door, she opened it herself, glanced back at me. Ethan, you'll regret this. Maybe. She gave me a deep look, then turned and left. The door closed softly. I sat on the sofa, motionless. The air still carried the lingering scent of her perfume and a faint hint of alcohol. Early the next morning, I was awakened by the ringing of my phone. I fumbled for my phone and saw it was Joey. Old Shen. Something big's happened. I rubbed my eyes and sat up. What's up? Have you checked the company group chat? I left it ages ago. How do I check? I'll screenshot it and send it to you. Soon. Several screenshots popped up on WeChat. It was from the main group of our former company. The latest message was from Eleanor, addressed to all members. Starting today, I'm taking a month off. Company matters will be temporarily handled by Deputy Manager Lee. Send emails for urgent matters. Do not disturb for non-urgent ones. Below were a bunch of replies. Received, mixed with various questioning emojis. I stared at that message for a long time. Did you see it? Joey was shouting on the other end of the line. The CEO is taking a month off. She's never taken such a long vacation since she took over the company. I said, I saw it. Do you think something set her off? Or is she having health issues? No idea. Why are you so calm? Joey sounded suspicious. It couldn't be related to you, could it? Maybe. I said. She came to see me last night. There was a 3-second silence on the other end, followed by an earth-shattering holy shit. Joey grilled me over the phone, and I briefly recounted what happened last night. I skipped over the crying and kissing part, so Joey took a moment to process it. She's changing for you. I don't know. I said. Maybe it was just a momentary impulse. But what if it's real? Joey grew excited. A wealthy woman giving up her empire for you. How romantic. Romantic. My foot. With her position, She can just take a leave whenever she wants. How chaotic would the company get? What will you do? Wait for her for a month? No, I said. I'll just carry on as usual. Old Shen, your heart must be made of stone. Joey sighed. A beauty of her caliber, going to such lengths for you, and you're not even swayed? I have been swayed, I admitted honestly, but being swayed isn't enough. Then what would be enough? I don't know, I said. Maybe time. I hung up, got out of bed, and washed up. Looking at the dark circles under my eyes in the mirror, I remembered how she'd waited with her eyes open for a kiss last night, and her words, if you kiss me, I'll forgive you. Really, absurd, yet a little endearing. I shook my head, pushing those images out of my mind, and headed out to work. The new company wasn't far from home, just 3 subway stops away. The work was simple, maintaining the company's network and computers. All my colleagues were young. The atmosphere was relaxed. During lunch, I scrolled through my social feed and saw a new post from Eleanor. A photo of the sky. It was a cloudless blue, with the caption, Day 1. The location tag showed a coastal city. I tapped to view the photo. It was indeed the place she often vacationed. Below were already a pile of likes and comments. Have fun, CEO. Get some good rest. The sky is so beautiful. I swiped past it. Days passed one after another. I settled into my new job, working 9 to 6, gaming after hours. On weekends, I slept in. Occasionally, I'd come across Eleanor's posts. Sometimes a mountain, sometimes the cover of a book. The captions were always brief. Day 2, quiet, just like her, concise and to the point. I'd give them a like without commenting. Joey, though, often messaged me. Eleanor went hiking today. She's at the beach today. The CEO is actually reading philosophy today. I replied, you're so focused on her, why not go for it? He backed off immediately. That kind of woman is out of my league. You two are a better match. I wrote back, match or not, there's no point talking about it now. About 2 weeks later, on a Saturday morning, I was woken by the doorbell, thinking it was a delivery. I answered the door in my pajamas. Standing outside was Eleanor, looking a bit thinner but with good color in her cheeks. She wore a simple t-shirt and jeans, her hair tied in a ponytail, no makeup, and carried 2 plastic bags filled with vegetables and meat. Morning, she smiled at me. I bought groceries to make breakfast. I stood frozen in the doorway. Before I could react, she naturally slipped past me. Go freshen up, it'll be ready soon. Then she headed straight into the kitchen. Familiar with the way, I stayed put, watching her busy figure in the kitchen as if in a dream. When I came out after washing up, breakfast was already laid out on the table. Fried eggs, bacon, toast, and 2 glasses of milk. Sit, she said. She took off her apron. Try it. I sat across from her. What brings you here? Bored on my day off, she replied. I remembered you saying weekends should start with a proper breakfast. I glanced at the food on the table, then back at her. You made all this? She looked a bit proud. I've been practicing for 2 weeks. My eggs don't burn anymore. I picked up my fork and took a bite of the fried egg. It was actually quite good, cooked just right. How is it? She looked at me expectantly. It's alright, I said. Better than instant noodles. She smiled, her eyes curved into crescents. Then I'll make it for you often from now on. I didn't respond, just lowered my head and kept eating. After the meal, she took the initiative to clear the dishes. I watched her wash them from the side. Her movements were still a bit clumsy, but very earnest. So this past month, you've been learning this? I asked. Not just that, she said. I learned a lot of other things too, like how to relax, how to waste time, how not to think about you. The last 3 words were spoken softly, but I heard them. And the result? I asked. Failed. She turned off the faucet and turned to look at me. The more I tried to relax, the more tense I got. The more I tried to waste time, the more anxious I became. The more I told myself not to think about you, the more I missed you. I looked at her damp hands and her even damper eyes. Last night, you really what? She took a step forward, hopeless. Then, do you want to consider? Save me. I reached out and cupped the back of her neck, kissing her directly. Not a tentative peck, but a fierce kiss carrying all the frustration of the past month. She froze for a second, then responded immediately, more passionately than I'd imagined. The plate in her hand fell back into the sink with a clatter. Neither of us cared. The kiss tasted of mint toothpaste, breakfast bacon, and a hint of salt. Perhaps from her tears, we only broke apart when we were both breathless. Her lips were swollen, her eyes glistening wetly, her chest heaving. So, she gasped. Was the rescue successful? Not sure. I wiped the corner of her mouth with my thumb. We'll have to see the follow-up effects. She laughed, burying her face in my shoulder. Ethan, you were such a jerk just now. Learned from you, she replied, giving a gentle bite on my neck. So, she murmured into my collar. Are we back together? What do you think? I said yes. Then I'll take your word for it. She lifted her head, eyes sparkling. Starting today, you're under my management. Fine, I said. Then you're mine to sleep with. Her ears turned red. You pervert. I raised an eyebrow. Who started being shameless first? Want me to kiss you to forgive me? That's different. How is it different? She couldn't answer, burying her face back into my shoulder. It just is different.